So in the last video we were struggling to get up to the end of the Ripon Canal, and we'd gone back down to Boroughbridge. So this is a follow-up to that, and also in this video there'll be some footage of in and around Ripon, things to see and do, and also there'll be some footage of that over 1100-year-old daily tradition which is still carried out every day in Ripon. So stay tuned to watch that. So today is today is Thursday, the 27th of October, and 3 days ago they opened the locks at Ripon. So we were a bit despondent really, because we want to do all the network, and well, we couldn't really get it all out to Ripon Basin. So we were going to go back down. We thought about going back down to York and then on to Selby, but then the water levels came quite high. It was at Boroughbridge and it went up quite a lot, and yeah, I've got a little video of that. But while we were there, because the water resources have improved, both the locks are open now at Ripon. So yeah, we're heading back that way now. As we just come out of Boroughbridge and heading up to Ripon, and we're going to sort of be there for well, probably about a week or so really, and yeah, then we head back down to York. Rhodesfield Lock. This is the last lock going up to the basin or the canal head at Ripon, and so we just got about half a mile to go to the side of this lock, and we're in Ripon city centre. So there's Maggie, order at the services at Ripon, and we're going to move on tomorrow. Today's Friday. Tomorrow we're going to move on into the basin. So these are the visitors moorings here at Ripon. 48 hour, and I think Kay's just pacing it out to see how many boats you can get on here. There's rings it's tied to. That's one. 5 rings.
Very technical.
Very technical. Done by calibrated footsteps.
That's 2.
That's 2. 3, and possibly 1 more. Just about.
No, 5 steps short.
5 steps short. Okay, so you get 3 on about the size of ours. Ours is 57 foot, and a slightly shorter one, maybe 45 foot.
Well, here we are at Ripon Basin, which we didn't think we were going to get here.
No, they just opened up on Monday, and so we decided we're going to come up and just so we got to the very end of the navigation.
We did it all. All 2.5 miles.
We've been walking it for well, a few days really, up and back from where we were down the other side of the lock. But
with
yeah,
Mark and Angela, Auntie Nola and Andrew.
Yeah, all friends and family. We didn't think we was actually going to make it with the boat, but here we are now at the most northeasterly point of the connected network. Not most northerly point, because that's on the Lancashire.
Now.
On Lancashire Canal, but yeah. So we're just going to turn around, wind around here, and then we're going to go back down and more. We were just down by the services a couple of days ago, and a bloke come and knocked on the boat and said, "Oh, one of you be interested in these?" And he gave us 2 bags of these. These are briquettes. They're compressed sawdust and shavings, and they're glued together into these briquettes, pressed. And yeah, so we've got 2 bags, 15 kilo each. I think 2 bags of these are 30 kilos. Lasts about as long as a 20 kilo bag of coal. Cost wise, well, it's about the same. These are £6.50 a bag, so that's 13 quid worth 13 quid's worth is two bags of that is equivalent to 1 bag of coal. Anything is, I suppose, is the storage of them, for one thing, because they are quite bulky. And the other thing is that when you put them on the fire, they do tend to break up quite quickly into sort of like sawdust and shavings, and that can quickly go down through the grate if you're not careful. But I think I might get some more actually, just while we're here, because the guy lives in Ripon, and it is a environmentally friendly way of keeping the stove going, so we'll probably buy some more while we're here. So yeah, if anybody's interested, it's Killingham Briquettes, and I'll put a link to it on the bottom in the comments. That's St Mary's Church up there. Fountains Abbey grounds. This is a deer park front of us. And down there, down that long drive, you can just see Ripon Cathedral. Here we are at Fountains Abbey, under this spreading chestnut tree, foraging for chestnuts. That lot, got loads. We thought we'd missed out this year, but we come at just the right time. So today's the 22nd of October, and you can see there's still loads left on the tree here, and there's dozens of these trees around the estate. So we've got our bag of chestnuts. So before we put these in the oven, we just need to split them. Just like that, so that when they bake, they sort of split open and they're easy to get the shells off. So these are our chestnuts already prepared. There's a tray there full of them, and I don't know much about cooking, but I looked on the internet and apparently they need to be in for about half an hour on gas mark 5, and take them out and then let them cool. But the best way to let them cool is to put something over the top of them so that they sweat a little bit, and that opens up the shells and it takes away the furry bit inside between the nut and the shell. Yeah, so I'm going to stick these in now and I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Hopefully they'll be okay. So this is what the chestnuts look like when they're shelled. These are actually frozen, so I've just taken them out the freezer because I forgot to show them to you earlier. But yeah, sometimes they're just like quite yellowy like this, which has got all the pith off of it, yeah. But these haven't quite much off, but they will come off when they're cooked. This is Kirkgate Bridge over the River Skell. This bridge was opened in 1892 by the Mayoress of Ripon, Mrs. Smithson. And down in that direction is the canal to the right. So this is the River Skell, which feeds the top of the Ripon Canal. So there's a culvert here somewhere. That's the bridge going into town. There's a culvert here somewhere which feeds it. I was going to see if I could find it now. I got a feeling it might be just below me here, but so here it is. This is the culvert just here. So through there, where the river feeds the canal. Oh, okay, it's another go. It's going in a disaster. See, the thing is, we don't want to be that side of the river, because the canal has over this side, so you have to come back. Quite a big step, isn't it? This is. It's just moving, but a lot more sedate. So this is the river here, rushing underneath the bridge and the weir, where the road crosses by the, very close to the racecourse, which is just over there. So yeah, it's really quite gushy now compared to what it was like a couple of days ago. Yeah, that's the bridge. Bit of foam in it, it's just come underneath the underneath the bridge over the weir. It was a bit foamy, but yeah, it's quite a flow to it. We had a bit of rain yesterday, probably rained for about 6, 7, 8 hours yesterday and a bit in the night as well, so yeah, it's all coming down off the moors. So I'd rather be going in the direction of York on the river than come up to Ripon at the moment. So I'd say there's quite a flow to it. This is Kirkgate, a lovely little quirky little street. Lots of independent shops in Ripon. This is Ripon Spa Gardens. Beautifully kept. Lovely bowls green pavilion. Bandstand over there. Really quite nice to have a stroll round.
Well, good evening everybody, my name's Wayne and I'm your Ripon City hornblower for this evening, if you haven't gathered already. And the ceremony you've just seen me perform is called Setting the Watch, and if legend is true, dates back to the year 886 and has been carried out in Ripon every evening ever since that year, which possibly makes that ceremony 1,136 years old this year. It's very old indeed. Not been me all the time, you might have gathered that as well, and a few of us over the years. So it all started back in Saxon times of the country, troubled times, when the Vikings had landed on the east coast of England, raided inland and took over most of the country. The then Saxon king Alfred of Wessex, better known as Alfred the Great nowadays, decided to do something about it. He led the uprising against the Vikings, retook what we now know as London, and left it with his son, and more importantly his grandson, for them to rebuild. He then set up a pact with the Vikings called Danelaw, that they could have territories in the north of the country, the kingdom of Northumbria as it was known at the time, and everything south of that border they'd leave alone. Ripon, the Saxon settlement that it was, based around its church, was still loyal to the Saxon cause, but now inside Viking territory, and only 20 odd miles away from the Viking stronghold of Jorvik. And Alfred knew this, so he got very pally with Ripon, for good reason. Like I said, the Vikings are only 20 miles away, so we were probably very nicely placed to keep an eye on what they're up to and report that to the Saxon south, like Alfred. So, as a gesture of good faith and for such works, Alfred decided to grant Ripon a charter, but that didn't come in the form of parchment with squiggly writing on it and a big royal seal like you get from the royalty these days. Instead, he decided to grant us a horn. Not this horn, but a horn that we still have within the town hall to this very day. And it was decided that original horn would be put to good use, so it was given to the wakeman. The wakeman was the night watchman of the city. Even appears in the city motto written at the top of the town hall there: "Except the Lord keep the city, the wakeman waketh in vain." It's from Psalm 127 from the Bible. And as I said, fairly humble beginnings to the wakeman originally as the night watchman of the city. His watch started at 9 o'clock, or at sunset in the early days, and carried on till dawn. And he sounded the horn at the start of his watch so that the city folk would know he was on duty and they could sleep safe and sound. And that's how the ceremony started all those many years ago, and has remained largely unchanged ever since. First, the Mayor of Ripon, a gentleman called Mr. Hugh Ripley. He was so proud of the traditions that Ripon held, including setting the watch, he wanted to carry it on. Hugh didn't trust his first hornblower, so he said to his first hornblower, once you've sounded the watch at the four corners of the market cross at 9 o'clock each evening, you must then report to my abode of the evening, stand in front of it, sound a further 3 blasts of the horn, then raise your cap and bow your head. Sound the words, Mr. Mayor, the watch is set. And that duty we have done ever since 1609, and we still do to this day. So tonight is a normal night. Once I'm done speaking to you lovely people, I'll have to go find the mayor. I will go to his house, he's about a mile or so that way, and sound the watch to him once I've done that. That's the potted history of hornblowing and setting the watch over the years. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. In that case, thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's it for this vlog. Going to leave it there, and yeah, there'll be a bit more footage of Ripon in the next one. But before that, there will be an extra special vlog, which is not quite so much narrowboat related as usual, but still a connection with it. So that'll be the next one. Then the one after that will be the end of the Ripon Canal. I was finishing Ripon and going back down to York. Yeah, so that's it for now. Thanks very much. Please push the button for the bell for notifications. Subscribe if you haven't already, please, and hit the like, and please do comment. It's just good to see the comments, and yeah, I'll always answer them. So okay, thanks once again. Bye.